President Tinubu heads for Turkey for strategic state visit.
House rejects Minority Caucus probe on tax laws.
Federal government moves to end Johesu strike, reviews Congress salary structure.
Good morning, Nigeria. Today we shall discuss developments in the country's livestock sector in 2026.
Nigeria's livestock sector is evolving right before our eyes. Now, the ambition is huge, of course, doubling herd sizes and production of 203 by 2030 while adopting greener, more resilient methods.
And we are seeing state-of-the-art infrastructures at research centers, hay barns and pasture seed processing lines, improving feed and water access.
In addition to that, now the National Animal Identification and Traceability System is tracking animal movement and health, giving farmers smarter herd management and stronger protection against theft and diseases.
And you know, Victor, it's not just about technology on the ground. Initiatives like the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project are reshaping the industry.
Indeed, and model veterinary hospitals and mobile clinics are reaching 20 states nationwide. Vaccination campaigns are keeping herds healthy, and the sedentarized pasture pilot scheme is opening new vistas for animal production.
Add artificial insemination programs, cold chain facilities, dairy product interventions, and institutional strengthening, and suddenly the sector is not only more productive, but also better organized and market ready.
You can say that again, and the private sector is also stepping in as well. A farm is about to open Africa's largest abattoir in the FCT, capable of processing 1,000 cattle a day, creating jobs and supporting downstream industries.
Now combine that with the expanding grazing reserves, new ranches and investor-friendly policies, and Nigeria's livestock sector is not just feeding the nation, it is moving towards global competitiveness.
Now the real issues now focus on the speed at which farmers will begin to experience tangible benefits, the effectiveness of state-level support for these initiatives, and whether Nigeria's livestock byproducts are genuinely prepared to compete on the global stage.
Indeed, very important questions there, Victor, you've asked there. Victor, you know, our panel of guests will be able to respond to them shortly to push the conversation for us to understand, you know, how the dynamics of the livestock sector. You're welcome to Good Morning Nigeria, the very first for the week. I am Jumwe Yusuf.
And I am Victor. As well, good to be back. And I warmly welcome you to the program. Our regular newspaper review segment is scheduled to follow the news. But first, it's Minna Daniels who is giving us the latest updates. Good morning, Minna. Good to see you.
I'm welcoming you, both of you, back from your leave, looking refreshed.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, guys. It's really good to be back.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning. Here is the news. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is set to embark on a high-level state visit to Turkey, departing Abuja this Monday, January 26th. This visit aims to deepen the long-standing cordial ties between Nigeria and Turkey, while opening new avenues for collaboration in key sectors. A statement from the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, says the trip will focus on strengthening bilateral relations and exploring enhanced cooperation in areas such as security, education, social development, innovation, and aviation. The visit comes as a reciprocal move following Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's official trip to Nigeria from October 19 to 20th, 2021. During the engagements in Ankara, the two leaders and their delegations will hold strategic political and diplomatic discussions, emphasizing shared priorities in finance, communication, trade, and investment. The agenda will include meetings between high-ranking officials of both nations and the signing of memoranda of understanding in scientific research, energy, technical cooperation, media and communications, military cooperation, and protocol, among others. A business forum will bring together investors from both countries to explore areas of interest during the visit. This visit underscores Nigeria's commitment to forging stronger international alliances that deliver tangible benefits in security, economic growth, and development. President Tinubu is expected to return to the country at the conclusion of the visit. And the House of Representatives has rejected the ad hoc committee established by its minority caucus to investigate claims of alterations in certain sections of the recently enacted tax laws. House spokesman Akin Rotimi, in a statement, emphasized that the authority to constitute an ad hoc committee for parliamentary oversight rests solely with the Speaker and the House in plenary. The House therefore insists that any probe undertaken by the minority caucus lacks institutional backing and runs contrary to formal parliamentary processes of the House contained in its standing orders. The House assures that a bipartisan ad hoc committee constituted before recess to investigate alleged tweaking of the tax laws will do a thorough probe and submit its report in plenary. The federal government has established a framework to resolve the ongoing industrial dispute between the joint health sector unions, JOHESU, following the strike that began on 14th November 2025 over the adjustment of the Consolidated Health Salary Structure, CONHES. The Federal Minister of Health and Social Welfare dismissed allegations of deliberate delay or discrimination, noting that several conciliatory meetings have been held with JOHESU at the Ministries of Health and Labour, including a high-level meeting on 15th January 2026, where a tentative understanding was reached. The ministry explained that an ongoing job evaluation exercise by the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, which commenced in November 2025, is necessary to ensure fair and evidence-based salary adjustments across the health sector. In a statement, the Director of Information and Public Relations of the Federal Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Alaba Balogun, said the government remains committed to industrial harmony and assured that the issue of no work, no pay will be handled administratively if JOHESU calls off the strike. He noticed that JOHESU members have already benefited from recent professional allowance increases totaling 58 billion naira in arrears and 40 billion naira annually, adding that while the CONHES issue has persisted for over a decade, the current administration is determined to reach a lasting resolution that protects uninterrupted healthcare delivery and urged the union to suspend the strike in the interest of Nigerians. And as Nigeria embraces artificial intelligence and innovation, policies and frameworks must be in place to ensure that technology serves humanity and not the other way around. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu stated this while reflecting on this year's International Day of Education with the theme AI and Education, Preserving Human Agency in a World of Automation, harping on the need for humans to be the drivers of AI, harnessing innovation and preserving the values that define and sustain development. The First Lady, in a message marking the celebration, notes that education remains the most powerful tool for acquiring knowledge, values, and ethical judgments crucial to thrive in a technology-driven world. She says investment in quality and inclusive education that empowers citizens to think critically, act responsibly, and embrace the future with confidence and compassion remains a national priority. And that's the news for now. Good Morning Nigeria continues shortly with Victor and Jumei after the break.
Supramalt Multivitamin Junior. Supramalt Multivitamin Junior. Being mommy simplified.
Terra wishes you a Merry Christmas.
Whenever man pikin gets pain for back, I dey collect 2 tablets of Panadol Extra sharp sharp for make tough pain comot sharp sharp, like pain for head, teeth, muscle, and pain don finally comot for my body oh. Try Panadol Extra.
Imagine lovely meals you can cook with these ingredients. You spend heavily, but no guarantee of a tasty meal. Not making a right choice of seasoning cube can ruin your meal, money, and confidence. For a tasty meal, do not compromise. Choose Gold.
Use Terra Gold for the rich, consistent taste your loved ones crave for. Good for soups, stews, and jollof. Terra Gold. 1 cube, endless possibilities.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, SEC 0209-462-1168, 0916-772-3240. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Once upon a time, there was a land plagued by blandness. Food had lost its flavor and there was nothing left to savor. Just then, the tastemaker arrives to restore taste to this land of blandness. All she did was sprinkle, stir, and serve. And from that day on, they knew one truth. All they needed is sprinkle, stir, serve.
Tastemaker.
Win up to 5 million naira and other exciting prizes in the Golden Morn Golden Hunt promo. Buy any 30-gram or 45-gram promo pack. Look inside for a unique code. Dial *8011*1#. Follow the prompts to enter your unique code to win big. Promo ends April 15th, 2026. Golden Morn. Make every day golden.
Impress, 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 impress.
Guys, food is ready.
Cook to impress.
Milo 3-in-1 Milky and Creamy is truly milky and contains calcium. So, no need to add milk for that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish your kids.
The world needs moms. With a splash of golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Change no thanks into yes please. Resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty family meals is all that matters. Where there are moms, there is love. Golden Terra Oil. Pour pure love.
You're watching Good Morning Nigeria, and up next is Newspaper Review.
Right, and Chukwudi Okolubaja is here. I'm seeing you for the first time this year.
Actually, I should welcome you.
Let me say Happy New Year.
What happened to you? Well, when I asked, they said you were still alive. I said, no problem. You will reset the
What do you mean? Do you mean you people went?
You came to Iseluku and didn't tell me.
You people went to the same state and you didn't look for Victor?
Even
if to share
bad roads scattered all my waist. I slept for 5 days when I got to the village.
Anyway,
good morning.
Morning.
Victor,
it's good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's begin with the leadership. And the lead story here reads, Coming Wali abduction. I lost 2-week-old baby. My husband, 5 children still in captivity. That's credited to an escapee mother. And the story is on page 4. Now, just above that headline, Kwankwaso at a difficult political crossroads, says Keyamo, and you get details of that on page 25. Below the nameplate, Rwanda pegs Nigeria's true value at 1,257 naira to $1, says currency undervalued by 11%. Details on page 7. Russian embassy kicks against Azu's article on Putin, not my Azu anyway. You get details of that on page 4. And troops nab 65-year-old woman supplying illicit drugs to terrorists is on page 29. Governor Yusuf will register as APC member in Kano today, is according to his spokesman, and you get details on page 4. And finally, on the front page of the leadership, Shell CEO, we are investing $20 billion in Nigeria due to Tinubu's vision and leadership. All right, that takes us to the blueprint. And on the front page of the blueprint, NMDPRA eyes additional $50 billion investments in midstream sector. With the rider Tinubu's capacity reason for Shell's planned $20 billion investment in Nigeria, that's credited to Sawan, and it's on page 8. Above that story, you have DSS nabs sea pirates, foils hijack of crude oil vessel, cruise abduction. On page 10, FG signs Enugu Airport concession, says it will boost Southeast economy. Details on page 24. And in sports, EPL, Manchester United stun Arsenal 3-2. Details on page 32. I'm sure Chukwudi will have something to say about that. And why Rivers lawmakers want Fubara deputy out. South professional women. And coming down the page, 12 years after leaving party, Kanu governor returns to APC today. Kicks off Kanu e-registration exercise. Speaker, 21 lawmakers, 8 reps, 44 local government chairmen, 2. And Tinubu to undertake state visit to Turkey today on page 9. Nigeria's forex reserves break $46 billion barrier after 8 years. It's on page 24. And tax reform laws, reps disown minority caucus report, cites procedural breach. It's on page 7. Do you mind? Okay.
Let's go much headline on this Nigerian newspaper this morning. This Nigerian newspaper by this side piece of the masthead, Serap sues Power Minister and bets over missing 128 billion naira. You find the details on page 6. And at the bottom plate of this Nigeria, how $6.1 billion exports expose Nigeria's minerals revenue leakages. With rider, experts say export growth driven by raw materials, informal cross-border trade. You find the details on page 5. And the World Health Organization says U.S. withdrawal makes the world less safe. You want to know why? You go to page 22. And the headlines: Yusuf versus Kwankwaso. Battle for Kano's 6 million vote rages. You find the details on page 4. With riders, governor, NAS members, others join APC today. And NNPP Kwankwaso, this is biggest betrayal ever. Mr. Chukwudi.
Kwankwaso and Yusuf. Do we call it the sad story of a father and his political son?
Father-in-law, by the way.
Oh, the father-in-law, really? Well, what difference does it really make? Atiku's son. When Claire comes here and begins to clarify politics, I tell her, leave them alone. You will never understand them.
You will never understand them.
They are on their own turf. They are in a world of their own. Just leave them alone. They know what they are doing. But really, it's a shock. It should be, it's not just a quagmire, it's an earthquake. If the governor really goes to APC today, and you begin to ask whether Kwankwaso actually has any party is leaning towards now, or has anybody you can say substantially, significantly support his political agenda. Well, let's see how it all plays out. Politicians have a way of healing, they have a way of realigning. So
no permanent friends,
no, there isn't really. Serap's use a power minister.
And NBET over missing 120 billion.
These Serap cases, have you ever heard about one that got to
I've never heard
adjudication?
of it. No.
And I don't quite get it. Please, if you have, tell me.
I haven't.
I'll humbly accept that I wasn't looking properly. Oh, really?
They do.
I'm sure they are going to bring, and they are going to come out with cases they've won before. Since we've talked about it here right now.
It's okay. So, what is the Russian embassy blaming Azu Ishekwene for? The article on Putin. They said somewhere he called him a dictator and a sinner. Well, many households in Kyiv and surrounding cities are not going to have a two different judgment from Azu Ishekwene's. If you know the kind of infrastructure damage Russian missiles are doing to Ukrainians in a very, very severe winter period.
So it's targeted, deliberately targeted.
Oh yeah, the infrastructure is targeted. The European Union is rushing in generators into Ukraine now, but the people are really freezing.
Yeah, freezing.
Well, they should all be working towards resolving that matter, because if reports are true, the number of Russian soldiers that die there on a daily basis,
including mercenaries.
Mercenaries, in fact, somebody has been
from
recruited.
African countries going there
they die
to
on
fight.
both sides.
They die on both sides. They die on both sides. But the truth is that the man who rushes to attack somebody usually takes more pellets than the person they are attacking.
Through the numbers,
and
they have the numbers.
And the Donbass, where they are now, it's a heavily fortified place. You remember when they said they had taken, what is it now, Provost?
The names.
There's so many.
I did the research recently, and I found out that every first half of a century is always in wars. If you go home, you research, you find that every first half of a century, there are wars.
There are wars.
After the first half of the century, then prosperity will come.
Oh, really?
Yeah, prosperity will come, everywhere will be so fine. Then the beginning of another century, it begins again.
Oh, really?
Yes, I started researching from the 1200s, from the 12th century or so.
What did you entitle it? The Jumite theory on development after conflict.
I just wanted to know because
very good at titles.
Because
I'll help you.
because the last century, the First World War, the Second World War, and in the first century, in the first half of the century, and now we're in this first half of this century, it is happening again.
That's interesting.
Yes, it's quite interesting.
The MD of a financial derivatives company, that's Bismarck Rwanda, is saying that the true value of the naira is to the dollar is about 1,257. He is, using the model he calls purchasing power parity, PPP. I don't know what that means. You have to ask Dr. Okembu and Professor Waleke to explain what he's talking about. My economics does not get there, you know. The lady who mentioned that she lost a 2-week-old baby, probably in captivity. She eventually escaped from the abductors, but her children and husband are still there.
And she lost a 5.
Let us extend our sympathy to her, really. It's unfortunate. I pray that government would, as they did the previous abductions, eventually get those people out. Because I want to hear that a resolution is being reached every day of the week and every month of the year. This matter has to be resolved sometime, please. It has to. It has to. People cannot just be in their homes, be in at their worship centers, and other people just come and take them away. It doesn't make sense. Africa is still in the throes of God knows what. Many, many years after so-called independence for the various African countries. Man is born free, but wherever you look, you find him in chains. That's either Voltaire or Rousseau, one of the French philosophers. I think it's Jean-Jacques Rousseau. I'm not too sure what of them.
WHO says U.S. withdrawal makes the world less safe.
WHO? Yeah.
The U.S. has withdrawn from...
Yeah, many organizations, not just...
64, I think. 64 organizations.
Actually, maybe more
will come.
More scary is the signature of Trump when he signs those orders.
That signature.
I've never seen anything will be like that before. You know, when in 2016 I wrote Trump is not a Trump card on Facebook. And many people said, Ovasabi, don't start again. Look, his style is order in chaos. That's the way he is. It is his nature. Nobody's going to change him. So learn to manage him. But I think that Mark Carney's words at Davos touched him. He removed him from the peace board.
Yeah, he did.
Board of peace or whatever.
He did.
When Mark Carney said that it is not a question of transition anymore, what you're witnessing is a rupture. If you're not at the table, you are on the menu. Oh no, forget
these were strong words. And
he's been a wonderful central bank governor in Britain and Canada.
Yes, and I was also listening. Yes, I was also listening to one governor in the U.S., Newton. He was at Davos, and he was saying that Trump has made more money personally, you know, like billions, just suing people and making money.
Oh sure.
And yes, so I think they will come back to the negotiating table.
One against the BBC
you cannot isolate yourself. No nation should be an island. I believe they will come back to the negotiating table and they will return to all these platforms.
They don't have a choice.
They usually, they don't have a choice.
But if you check it, he has been roundly condemned by his own people.
Yeah.
Because after saying that they didn't need NATO soldiers in Afghanistan, he came out yesterday to say that they were great warriors, the British people who were in Afghanistan. Which one will they take work?
Because of the backlash.
Yes.
Because of the backlash.
No, they roundly condemned
this will be
him.
the first time that the British PM will openly criticize him.
They said it was insulting. I'm sure that the king must have also sent him a message. Why would you say this?
Davos was a stage
it was.
to air grievances.
It was.
And they were able to do that.
The prince said it was personally.
That's Harry.
You
know, he flew a helicopter in
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
A lot of friends.
Well, that's the way the cat jumps in the world. I don't know where that leaves those of us who are in developing countries.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles, they say.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I was also reading up some things. And when, you know, I was watching a movie on the Ottoman Empire on Netflix. And the opening said, for another empire to rise, another must crumble.
Yes. I remember the Ottoman Empire when it was described as the sick man of Europe.
Yes.
The decline has started. We had a wonderful history teacher when I was in IC Benin, or Roberto we called him. His friend was Garibaldi Giuseppe, the Italian. Oh, no.
And mine was an Indian. We call him Mr. Regunat.
You made it.
He was an arranger.
When
he's teaching
we
us
are soulmates anyway.
Yes, I just feel like I've lived before, maybe in the past life during wars and all that.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
You never know.
Yeah, because they say the soul never dies, so we don't know to actually.
And the House of Representatives appears divided against itself.
On the tax law.
You know, when people started talking about two versions of the tax law, people tampered with it after it was signed. I said, no, that sacrilege will not happen and all that. A lot of talk started. But whatever happens, let them please smolder whatever is happening now. Let them douse it and let us move on, please. The fear we had was that anytime Jumai received the money, something will be taken from it. But the chairman of the presidential, committee on tax reforms, says that's Oyedele says no. At the end of the year, we say this is all. These are the things we saw go into your account. Yeah. Have you paid tax properly? Which is a bit relieving. I was afraid that the little change I was
the little change will be there. It will increase 1,000-fold. Mr. Chukudi, thank you so much for coming. Amen. Thank you so much for coming this morning. We appreciate you as always. Bright and lovely in your beautiful colors.
Thank you, Jumai. Thank you.
I like your mustache, by the way.
Well, that's Good Morning Nigeria. For now, we'll take a pause. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Win up to 5 million naira and other exciting prizes in the Golden Morn Golden Hunt promo. Buy any 30-gram or 45-gram promo pack. Look inside for a unique code. Dial *8011*1#. Follow the prompts to enter your unique code to win big. Promo ends April 15th, 2026. Golden Morn. Make every day golden.
Whenever man pikin gets pain for back, I dey collect 2 tablets of Panadol Extra sharp for make tough pain comot sharp like pain for head, teeth, muscle, and pain don finally comot for my body oh. Try Panadol Extra.
Terra wishes you a Merry Christmas.
When malaria knocks you down, you can be sure parasites are having a party in your system.
Welcome to our new kingdom, guys!
Comel, an effective weapon against malaria. Attacking the parasite army directly to give you express relief and get you back on your feet effectively. Comel on malaria gone.
Once upon a time, there was a land plagued by blandness. Food had lost its flavor and there was nothing left to savor. Just then, the tastemaker arrives to restore taste to this land of blandness. All she did was sprinkle, stir, and serve. And from that day on, they knew one truth. All they need is sprinkle, stir, serve.
Tastemaker. Milo 3-in-1 Milky and Creamy is truly milky and contains calcium. So, no need to add milk for that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish your kids.
Yes, I
in ourselves. Let's have the right attitude. We've got all it takes to get there. Let's look inwards and revive all our infrastructures and galvanize our human and material resources. Nigerians, believe in yourselves. Believe we can succeed.
Nigeria, believe. Powered by National Orientation Agency.
You're watching Good Morning Nigeria, and to push our conversation as we're shining a spotlight on the country's livestock sector in 2026, well, let's take this background report by Timothy Yusuf.
Nigeria's livestock sector is undergoing a climate-smart transformation in 2026. The Federal Ministry of Livestock Development has unveiled its National Livestock Growth and Advancement Strategy, aiming to double herd size and production by 2035, all while reducing greenhouse gas emissions through smarter feeding and management practices. At the heart of this push is the upgraded National Animal Production Research Institute, NAPRI. New infrastructure, including hay barns, pasture seed processing lines, and solar-powered boreholes, is already improving feed availability and water access, critical steps for boosting productivity and building resilience in the sector. On the economic side, the National Economic Council has endorsed a broader agribusiness plan that could generate up to $90 billion in value by 2035. This strategy links livestock growth to textile and cotton industries and encourages private sector investment, signaling a shift toward a more integrated, market-driven livestock economy. Technology is also stepping up. In Kogi State, for example, the government launched the National Animal Identification and Traceability System, tracking animal movement, health, and theft. This digital backbone is setting the stage for smarter data-driven herd management nationwide. Experts say these initiatives mark a move away from traditional low-input grazing toward a climate-conscious, market-oriented livestock sector, one that could transform food security and rural livelihoods across Nigeria. But the big questions remain. Which aspects of this transformation matter most to citizens? How are policies impacting farmers on the grounds? What current projects or investment opportunities exist in livestock development? Our guest in the studio today will help answer these questions and more, shedding light on what the future of Nigerian livestock really looks like.
All right, many thanks, Timothy Yusuf, for that background report. And to bring in our conversation, to begin our conversation, I'd like to introduce here in the studio the Honorable Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Maiha. A pleasure to welcome you to Good Morning Nigeria again.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigeria. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, we have also been joined here in the studio by Dr. Sanusi Abubakar, who is the National Coordinator, Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, LPRES. Thank you for joining us on Good Morning Nigeria.
Good morning and nice to thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. And also joining us here in the studio is Dr. Ilyasu Gashumbaki. He's the co-founder Abbey's Group. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's begin this conversation. Let me begin by asking the Honorable Minister, where we are now. I mean, we've had this now for a couple of years, thereabout. What is the Ministry of Livestock intended to accomplish by its separation from the Ministry of Agri, and how far have we come with it?
Thank you. Precisely, the ministry was created on 9th July 2004, and that precisely just about 1 year and so a few months. However, if you look at the policy statements of the current government in creating this ministry, is more than just administrative alignment. The ministry is coming for the first time in 64 years of our independence. And that is to say that in the past 64 years, nobody gave, a considered view about the volume and value and the role livestock plays in a national economy, like Nigeria. Therefore, the creation of the ministry is intended to bring to mainstream the livestock sector. By mainstreaming, to bring it from the informal sector into the formal sector. You realize, for instance, if you look at the statistics, about 50-something million heads of cattle, 124 million goats, 70 million sheep, 9.3 million pigs, almost 500 million poultry sector, about 410,000 donkeys, and about 1,200,000 camels in the country. Also look at the volume and value of cultivated pasture. Look at also animal disease, health and disease management. It's a whole ecosystem that has been out of the formal sector. And that is to say that all the transactions today that happen in the livestock sector are outside the main financial capital. And it's very much few that is being captured. Therefore, this is intended to modernize the livestock sector into a highly resilient, sustainable, modern and globally competitive sector, like it happens in many advanced countries or middle income level countries like Nigeria. We are not there yet. So this ministry is intended to preside over that transformation, to give that laser focused attention on making sure that the contribution of that sector to the GDP of the country goes up and up and up to rival many of the other sectors by way of diversifying the economy from a monocultural economy into agriculture, in addition to agriculture, to also have a focus on the livestock sector to make sure that millions of Nigerians that are employed there drive full benefits. And by driving full benefits, the nation also starts to benefit. How? By food, national food security. Number 2, job creation. Number 3, rural development. Number 4, the stabilization of the economy, of the rural sector from the security challenges we're having today. You'll agree with me there's a convergence between the insecurity we are facing today in the country and livestock sector. Livestock is not completely responsible, but I think there's a convergence because of the system of nomadism that we have today in the country. There are issues of cattle rustling, there are issues of also arising from farmer harder crisis. So that ministry is supposed to, there's that interdependence, there's that convergence. We will have to stabilize this sector for national prosperity. And when we say national prosperity, we are looking at all farmable animals. When we talk about food security, we're looking at all farmable animals. You start from the honeybee, you go to rabbitry, you go to pig, you go to poultry, you go to sheep, you go to goats, you go to cattle, you go to donkeys, you go to horses, and you go to camels. Every square inch in this country is endowed with one animal species or the other. So we are looking at this holistically at the national level. That is why we are transforming.
Okay, I like the fact that you're telling us your projection, you know, and how you started and where you are now. And the livestock industry is one of the fastest growing economies in the oil sector. So we'd like you to walk us through, you know, the presidential directives to fast track efforts of transforming, one, grazing reserves and the establishment of ranches across the country. So how far are you working on that directive by the president this January?
No, thank you very much. Precisely on the 9th of December, the last Federal Executive Council meeting of the outgoing year, Mr. President directed that the National Economic Council holds an emergency meeting and then listen to the livestock. A presentation will be made by livestock ministry to drive home what he christened national ranching policy. Now, it's coming at a time that the ministry has been established for a year, like I've given you, and we have also mined data of all the livestock infrastructures in this country, including the grazing reserves, about 417. About 332 are gazetted by the various state governments. The balance are still in the process of being gazetted. Now, that policy is now supposed to realize that directive of converting the grazing reserves into communal ranches. But again, we have also, before the presidential directive, come up with a model of a communal ranch. Now, these grazing reserves have for over the years been neglected. Many have received some form of infrastructure here and there, but there was nobody to take ownership. And that is the difference we are bringing to the table. That today we are holding very, very deep and organic consultation with the livestock sector, with all the players, particularly the smallholder, particularly the traditional migratory livestockers. We are holding conversation with them and telling them that, look, how do we move away from this unsustainable method of animal husbandry into something that is more sustainable, less conflict prone, will improve animal productivity, and then will turn those grazing reserves into economic hubs. We had conversations with them, we presented a solution, and they accepted that as long as this infrastructure, like one, the grazing reserves will be designed to accommodate all the animals that are available in that particular geolocation. We set out land for housing, land for normal crop cultivation, land for pasture development, micro earth dams for rural, for dry season irrigation, to make sure that once animals are there, they have sufficient feed and fodder to remain there permanently without the need to migrate out to greener areas. So those greener areas will be provided there. They will have schools for children, including secondary schools. They will have primary health care for their families. They will also have veterinary clinics and potable drinking water. And therefore, once these animals are residents, are domiciled in those locations, then everything will be added on. Number one, if we take, for example, the cow grazing reserve here in Buari local government, our estimation there that can hold about 30,000 heads of cattle. Imagine the amount of milk you are going to get, and those cattle will be there permanently. And therefore, if you have an intention to set up a dairy processing plant in cow grazing reserve, you are sure of security of supply of your raw material of fresh milk. If you want to set up an abattoir, and of course, in those grazing reserves, we are also going to build and encourage the youth to go into animal fattening. And therefore, the abattoirs, the abyss of this world, will also be guaranteed of security of supply of fattened bulls. Both bulls, sheep, and goat will be fattened there. That's what we are looking at. And therefore, that is what that statement is supposed to achieve for the grazing reserve. But however, remember I said that every part of this country is endowed with one form of livestock or the other. And we are not just focusing on this, because historically we have this grazing reserve. But what happens to those areas that do not have grazing reserve? But they are animal resources. They have sheep and goat, they have pigs, they have this, they have that. Of course, we work with the state governments. We are talking about live development centers. And many today have also come up in the country. There's a live development center in Sokoto, there's a live development center in Gombe, there's a livestock development center in Enugu. I've visited those places. In fact, I presided over the groundbreaking ceremony of those centers. And many more are coming up. So that means that we are not just talking about graze, we are talking about livestock development. For every locality in this country, there is something that can happen around livestock to achieve these lofty presidential ideas. Food security, job creation, rural empowerment, rural development. This is what we are talking about. You can do that with bees. You can do that with pigs. In fact, if you look at the Yandev Pig Progeny Center in Yandev, Benue State, I've been there. If you look at the Opuje Pig Progeny Center in Enugu State, I've been there. And we are also talking with some state governments like Plateau, like Kaduna, to create some of these progeny centers for piggery. So, and that means that also if you look at Benue State, if you look at Ningev in Vadeke local government, they have about 922 hectares of land for goat and sheep ranching. It's a huge area. And that center was set up by Mr. Apare Aku of blessed memory. So we are looking also at that, some of these locations all over the country, there is shared prosperity. So it's not a question of just focusing on one animal. That is the difference now Mr. President is bringing by the creation of this ministry. In fact, areas that probably people do not want to go into, actual livestock development itself, we can go into commercial pasture production. And today, we have seen people are now trading in pasture in this country. It may not be known to you because you are not part of the game. But today, people are trading in pasture. Pasture from one area are being trucked to areas where they are needed. And that is what also the ministry is encouraging, is working with businessmen to think about pasture development, pelletization, making blocks out of grasses. That is also a form of business, also part of the livestock ecosystem that we are trying to develop.
All right, Honorable Minister, before we give you your reserved breather, your deserved rather breather, how far are we from the reality of having these grazing reserves? They sound very fantastic. How far are we from the reality?
Now, when we made presentation to NEC last year, NEC set up a committee of state governors. It's already in public domain. The committee held its inaugural meeting last Wednesday. I was there. All the members of the state governors appointed were there. Now, we have started working. We have already identified criteria for selecting those states. But of course, that is for the ministry. We already have a criteria even long before the presidential directive. But what we are saying today is that that committee has been set up, and in the very, very few will now address NEC with the recommendations of that committee. However, we are not just waiting for that committee. We are also working with a number of other private sector interests who also want to lease land from those grazing reserves to come in and set up their own ranches, the private sector. The private sector doesn't require any committee. It's a business decision. Run your numbers. This is what you want to do. You come to us, we give you. Or if you want land outside the grazing reserves, we also talk to the state government. And we have a number of letters to state governments for people who want to do ranching, who want to do commercial pasture production, people who want to do large-scale goat and sheep operations. So it's already happening. At the government level, however, is taking those methodical steps to make sure that it is being realized. For us here, we know if tomorrow the funds are made available, we know exactly where our boots will be. Because we know from our criteria, these areas really deserve to serve as pilot models. What we call here today, the way we're christening Renewed Hope Livestock Villages. That's where we are going to call them. Renewed Hope Livestock Villages, where you are going to have economic hubs with hundreds of thousands of cattle, with large quantities of milk, large number of feedlots, in fact, including biogas.
That would require hectares of land.
Of course, the land is there. We have the land. We have the land. It also included biogas for generation of electricity, as well as also organic fertilizer production. This is what we are looking at.
Okay, thank you so much. There's so much. It's like Victor said, it's a fantastic idea, and you know, and Nigerians are really looking forward to a fantastic livestock sector that can, you know, drive, you know, the GDP of this country, and it's the fastest growing, you know, sector in Nigeria right now. Let's bring in our other guests into this conversation. We'll begin with Dr. Sanusi Abubakar. He's the national coordinator, L-Press. Now, I would like you to walk us through the role of L-Press, you know, which is key, of course, in building resilient and commercial livestock sector. So can you tell us about the animal health component, especially model veterinary hospitals and, of course, the clinics that I believe will enhance the livestock sector and take it to another phase?
Okay, thank you very much. As you rightly said, L-Press is a livestock productivity and resilience support project. It's a World Bank project, and the animal health component of L-Press cut across three of our main components. Component one, that is institutional support and system strengthening, livestock value chain enhancement, then crisis prevention and conflict mitigation. The animal health component is subcomponent 1.3, that is support to animal health component. And currently, we have completed 7 model veterinary hospitals and 13 are ongoing.
Across the country?
Across the country. 3 were successfully commissioned by the Honorable Minister, that is the one in Sokoto, Adamawa, and Enugu. And one interesting aspect of the model veterinary hospital is units. We have three very important units: the X-ray unit, the e-clinic, which is the mobile clinic. Then we have the ambulatory services attached to the model veterinary hospital. The X-ray unit is we have latest X-ray machine, that is the X380 machine for our taking care of our animals. Then we have the e-clinic. The e-clinic comprises of all the list of veterinary premises across the state and the veterinary doctors across the state to give access to our livestock farmers. What you need to is we have a hotline there, that a call center that you can call, and we can now link you with veterinary clinic or veterinary hospital or services that is close to the clusters. Then also the ambulatory service is to reach destinations, very clusters that are not close to the veterinary hospitals. We take services to them, and we also try to give them the services. So currently, we have completed 7, and we have 13 that are ongoing across the country. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Let me now get to Dr. Ilyasu. A lot has been said about the livestock sector, but in your opinion, why is the sector now bankable like it wasn't before?
Okay. Let me say that now we are more focused, and the Honorable Minister has provided the leadership required to drive the sector to mainstream the livestock sector properly. For example, before now, we didn't have the National Livestock Master Plan. And with the coming of the Honorable Minister, we had a transition from the National Livestock Transformation Plan to a master plan that now has proper critical implementation component that makes it visible for the private sector to participate. And of course, in addition to that, the minister has been very pragmatic and practical in supporting what the private sector does. ABIS in particular, our company, the company I represent, we recently, last year, launched an academy, and the minister was at the forefront of driving that. And what will that academy do? The academy is the flagship private sector institution that will drive knowledge, technology transfer, anything to do with the entire livestock sector, from primary production to processing to distribution and marketing and export. It cut across the entire gamut of the livestock sector. And of course, even LPRES, at different levels, we are now beginning to see an interface with what they are doing. Because our business as ABIS Group is contingent on feedstock. So when we do the backward integration, we have to now fall back on what LPRES is currently doing at the subnational levels in trying to create feedlots where our feedstock is going to come to feed into the mega factory.
Indeed, the Honorable Minister has talked about the public-private partnership, which that's how you're coming in. Yes. And the Abyss Farm is set to open, you know, Africa's largest abattoir. So what inspired this initiative, and what is the vision behind it?
Okay, the vision behind Abyss came from the founder, Ambassador Emmanuel Osman, who conceptualized the idea of transforming the livestock sector in Nigeria. But something very profound happened in Doha. When we went to visit Baladna, one of the dairy farms in Qatar, we now immediately had a commitment to Africa. We realized that what they were doing with just 24,000 herds, if you look at the statistics, if you listen to the minister very well, the statistics that he has run out is quite amazing and revealing that we have that enormous potential in Nigeria. At Baladna, they just had about 24,000 herds, and that is sufficient to provide all they need in terms of dairy needs in the entire Qatar, with population of close to 4 million people. So there then we had a commitment to the continent, not just Nigeria. Currently we have invested in excess of $50 million. First, starting with the factory in Lagos, which has been running for the past 3 years, running to 4 years now. And then we now have a mega expansion in Abuja. Now, this is the biggest halal facility on the continent. Once it opens in next month, Honorable Minister, we are almost done. We are 99% complete. El Press were there only last week to see for themselves the progress that we've made. And it's a facility that will process in excess of 4,000 ruminants, 1,000 cattle herds every day, and 3,000 goats and sheep. And then we have a sausage factory. Now, amazingly also, because we want to have the Nigerian-made sausage, the governor of Plateau State has committed. I don't know, I am sure everybody here is familiar with the Miangu pepper. Yes. So we are now going to infuse it into the sausage. We'll have the first Nigerian-made sausage once the factory opens. And that can happen as soon as next month.
And it's halal?
Completely halal.
All right.
Yes, the biggest on the continent.
Let me get back to El Press. In practical terms, what has El Press delivered so far, to livestock farmers?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me talk in practical terms. Let me consider the components. We have animal health, we have animal husbandry. In practical terms, most of the animal husbandry aspects handle an animal production at the state level. For instance, the sedentarized pasture pilot scheme, which is like an facilities provided for the livestock farmers in clusters. We have done about 104 across our states, sedentarized. That is, we provide water, pasture, crushers, facilities. At the national, we have done a lot on animal health. We have done the model veterinary hospitals. We have done cold chain facilities across. The strategic vaccine storage facility is here in Sheda, and we are replicating about 6 across the country. We have done institutional supports to NAPRI, to NVRI. We are upscaling the vaccine production of NVRI from 120 million doses to 850 million doses annually. We have done a lot in NAPRI to support the animal production through the pasture seed multiplication center, the hay barn, the shed, and a lot of water points across NAPRI. Then also at the state, there are a lot of remodeling and building of new livestock markets. For instance, on 29th, just on Thursday, we'll be commissioning a brand new model livestock market in Adamawa State. Then we have about 10 livestock markets ongoing across our states. Then also the livestock service center that the Honorable Minister spoke about. We are building 2 under the performance-based conditions in Kano and Bauchi. We are building 5 in other locations, Taraba, Oyo, Edo, and the rest. Then also we have value chain hubs. Value chain hubs are not as big as livestock service centers, but they consider one value chain hub. For instance, if you are talking of beef, they consider beef up to the end of the value chain. We have 13 that are ongoing across our states. Number of boreholes, water points, we have a lot of infrastructure going on across the states. So what we do at the national normally is policy and the component one, that is institutional support and system strengthening. Then the states handle most parts to do with livestock value chain enhancement, that is component 2, and component 3, which is crisis prevention and conflict mitigation. So in summary, these are the activities we are handling currently in LPS.
Very, very robust activities you are having, because from January I've been following the Honorable Minister from state to state, and you were recently in Napri, like you mentioned, in Shika there, and I believe there are some programs that you are initiating there. Can you walk us through some of them?
Thank you very much. Napri is one of the foremost livestock development research institutes we have under the ministry. Precisely, Napri was established in 1928. It's a long history. We have seen its golden ages. However, with the coming of the ministry, we want them to get recharged. This is a dawn of a new era, an era where we see research institutes not just for research in knowledge, they must be connected to the market, research for development. And therefore, we've had some very, very productive conversations with the Vice Chancellor and with the management of the Institute. And there is the imperative today of focusing on species development. We want Napri today to come up in the not too distant future with a Nigerian dairy breed cow that can rival any other cow anywhere in this world, but adaptable to the Nigerian climatic conditions. We also want a Nigerian beef breed that can be the pride of the nation and the envy of the world. We want Napri to go into pasture cultivation, to give us grasses that can regreen our countryside, that are disease resistant, pest resistant, drought resistant, highly nutritious, minimum 14% crude protein. Remember, at the center of the farmer-harder crisis is the issue of fodder. But that once that fodder is available, that can grow in New Marte in Borno, in Bodinga in Sokoto, in Bayelsa, in Calabar, here in Plateau, all over the country. That is the species that we want. That is resilient, that of good nutritional value. That's what we are looking at. That's for the largest ruminants. For the small ruminants, we want goats, excuse me, that can be multi-purpose in terms of both meat and dairy production. The thing that people do not know is that even goats, there are dairy goats. Just like you have dairy cows, you also have dairy goats. Today, the Sanin gives you 4 liters in a day. It is here in this country. It is on my farm. A dairy goat gives you 4 liters. A Nigerian cow gives you 1.2 liters. What are you talking about? So this is the challenge we are placing before Napri. We want also Napri and every other research institute that is involved in livestock breeding to give us species that we can run with in this country. We are talking about food security. We are talking about job creation. Like the FUNAB in Ibadan has created a species of a chicken. We also know the Noila. We also know the Shika Brown. So we must focus on these flagships and make sure that they are in every rural family house in this country for egg, for meat, for rural empowerment. That's what we're talking about. Excuse me, we're talking about research that is connected to the market. A Napri that can today attract sufficient quantities of research grants. And these researches should not be shelved. They should not be commercialized. We want a Napri that can go into collaborations with its sister organizations all over the world, like the IMPRAPA, like the ARCN of South Africa, like the ones in Morocco, like the ones in Egypt. These are institutions that have quite substantially impacted on the livelihood of livestockers. It's not the quality of the research. That research should be translated into how many lives are you transforming. That is what we are talking about. And that is the way to go. A Napri that is today taking a cue from Embrapa in Brazil. And NABRI can today turn the Nigerian, the statistics I've given you, into a livestock powerhouse on the African continent. And I know the talents are there. We have charged them. Mr. President is ready. And in fact, there's evidence that he's going to give that political support. Ours today is to be part of that wagon to drive the transformation of NABRI from its vision, from its mission, and then its values. All they will have to change so that they can now squarely face the market.
Okay,
connected
yes.
commercially with whatever they are doing.
I like the fact that you are from the system. You know, you're a farmer, you're a livestock person and all that. And your passion sort of tells us the future of the livestock industry in Nigeria. And our viewers would like your response and messages. Some have started coming in so that you'll be able to understand what entails in the livestock industry. I'm going to ask you, I'm just going to read one of the questions for you to respond to. Nandam Weir from Jos said, what are the health hazards of intensively selected livestock breeds? I believe that livestock development also focuses on ensuring the animals are in good health and physical condition before being slaughtered. Why are those responsible in our abattoirs not checking these animals before consumption any longer? He said pesticides and other chemicals negatively affect pasture quality by damaging soil health and plant life, and they reduce milk and meat production by impairing livestock health and reproductive functions and accumulating as toxic residue in animal tissue and products. How best can we curtail this? Thank you for your service and enlightenment. Have a good morning. Can you respond?
Thank you. Well, of course, my brother Gashim Baki will come in. He's a practical person doing an abattoir, but limited at the general level. I think we have missed the point. In the 60s, 70s, and early 80s, we had meat inspectors all over slaughterhouses. Now, somehow along the line, we have lost that will to enforce. And we believe that any meat is good for consumption. Any animal can be slaughtered under any condition. And people tell you that, look, we can overheat the meat and kill the viruses, the parasites, and the diseases. But by the time you do that, you're also killing the nutrients in the meat itself. Precisely this is what you are doing. So what are you eating? Chaff. You mounted, probably put some pieces of meat there, but at the end of an hour or two, you have burnt out everything else. So the question of enforcement is what we're talking about. And this is why today we are waking up the private sector. And you can see the abyss of this world, the CDI of this world. We are waking them up today to get into proper meat processing under control environment of a modern abattoir, where the animal will come to an abattoir with its own health record from a known ranch or feedlot in the issue of traceability. Because number one, if this animal is injected in less than 2 weeks, it's not ready, it's not suitable for slaughter. That withdrawal period would have to be observed. By then, all the chemicals from that injection would have been neutralized and is out of the body. The body condition score, an animal that is emaciated, runny eyes, drooping nose, drooping saliva, looking dull with a dull coat, is a sick animal. It's not suitable for slaughter. So that body condition score with a minimum of fat deposit will have to be there. After the animal is processed in a controlled abattoir environment, meat inspector will also come to take some slices of the internal organs and then go to the laboratory and make sure that it's fit for human consumption, and they can now stamp the approval. This is what happens all over the world. And this is what the ministry today is working with the red sector, with the red meat sector and the state governments to make sure that these are implemented. Abattoirs are supposed to be disease-free areas. Not everybody should go there. The workers in that abattoir will have to go twice in a year for medical examination. So they are free of any communicable diseases. And those abattoirs have cold chain facilities. Now, you have cranes where the animal is lifted. The waste drops into drainages. The blood will go to a blood bank. The feces will go somewhere. You get you debone the animal, and you take the carcass into a cold room facility, and you have your different cuts. That's what we're talking about. Now, I think, again, Mr. Gashibaki will come in. But before he comes in there, somebody talked about pesticides, etc., etc., etc. Now, remember, in Pasture cultivation, we don't use pesticides. We don't use pesticides.
Okay, you don't use pesticides.
We don't use pesticides. That's for normal crop cultivation. These are the people that use pesticides. For us here, we do rogging. It's physical rogging. You remove the weeds out of your pasture, and then you get clean 100% Digitaria, Brachiaria, Mavuno, Rusinesis, Stylo, or Napier, or Jintao, whatever grass you plant. You get clean and clear. And these grasses are genetically developed. They are nutrient packed. They are drought resistant, they are pest resistant, and they grow very fast, and they have the biomass. That is pasture for you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. The Honorable Minister has prompted you multiple times, but take this along with it. Do we have the relevant equipment? He's talked about deboning. I hope it's not still the same way of using, cutlass or using knives to debone. Do we have the equipment to make this what it should be as a large-scale industry now?
Absolutely, yes. And just to reinforce what the minister said, actually enforcement is critical to all of this. And the good thing is that we have all the regulations and the legislations in place. For example, the Animal Diseases Control Act 2022 has provided a number of things that has to do with dealing with diseases and the processes that need to be followed. Now, at the abattoir of our scale, it's not just the federal regulations that we are also dealing with. There is also the halal compliance certifications. And then the halal compliance certification is not just about the religious ritual component of it, but it's about public health and public safety, essentially. And therefore, the combination of these two, the halal certification, and then of course our regulations and our laws, gives us a clean starting point. In terms of technology also, the underlying technology, today we have the 5th generation technology that we have deployed at Edu. I think we need to invite NTA to go and see for yourself. Even the tiles in the central abattoir is antibacterial, just to reduce contamination and all of that. We'll have a laboratory there. We have testing equipment. We'll have veterinary doctors. So world-class infrastructure that ensures public safety and public health is deployed both in Lagos, which is semi-manual, but the one in Abuja is highly advanced. Like I said, it's 5th generation technology, because what we have currently here is about the best anywhere you can find in the world.
But is that sufficient though, Lagos and Abuja?
Now, what is also in the grand scheme of things, we want to create a national grid of processing plants around the country. We are already engaging subnationals. Like I said, with what we have seen in Qatar, we have made $50 million investment, real time, verifiable, on ground, Lagos and Abuja. We have committed further additional $100 million in the next 5 years to see that we have at least maybe 5 other locations, adding to these 2 that we have, making 7. So which means the aspiration is to ensure that we have at least in each political zone, geopolitical zone. All the processing facilities will now be connected together. The one in Abuja will be the central clearing house. And the idea is to see that we have sufficient processed products that will go to the eastern corridor and that will go to the western corridor, since the feedstock is coming largely from the northern part of Nigeria. Now, in addition to all of this, the abattoir is almost zero waste. For example, the blood is it's used for animal feeds, And we have a way of where it is completely taken out, it's not wasted. The same thing with the feces. It goes into the digester, it produces biogas that we use to power the plant, and then of course what is left is organic manure. Then even the bones, we have instruments for extracting the bone marrow itself. And then of course the bones will be used for other things. The bone marrow is essential for pharmaceutical uses and all of that. The skin, of course we have a dehyder in the factory that gives you almost 99% class of heights grade that you need to have. No spots, no holes, because it just removes it in seconds. It's off, and there's no tear, no breakages. All these things that you hear about Moroccan leather, Italian leather, it's actually something that we are inspired by what the minister and HealthPress are doing. The idea is to reverse it. There's nothing like Moroccan leather, because they are just buying unprocessed leather from Nigeria and then processing it in Morocco or in Italy to give it first grade leather for Gucci and all of that. So essentially, I think we have a clear pathway and an encouraging leadership that is making us to commit further into investing into the sector. And I'm sure if this kind of inspiration, it's no longer an inspiration, it's a reality, because we are on ground, we are doing it. I believe more serious players will join with the trajectory that we have now found.
Indeed, more serious players will join. Listening to you now, I wish I have money to, to do that, yes. Because when you look at the potentials in the livestock industry, I remember when we were growing up, there were tanning industry across Kano, in Maiduguri. You go to the warehouse, you see a lot of, cow hide. They are being exported all the way to Central Africa, to Italy and all that. And the byproducts that come back into Nigeria, it's quite expensive. We buy it very expensive. Imagine what will happen if we do it back home here. Let's bring the HealthPress back into this conversation. What are the specific supports HealthPress, is giving or providing to farmers, to link them to markets, to be able to make money from what they have?
Okay, excellent. So market linkage is also one of the sub-components of HealthPress project. And it's clear all these activities that we do across the sedentarized pasture pilot scheme, model veterinary hospitals, and the markets are linked together. For instance, the clusters we service at the sedentarized pasture pilot scheme, we service them through the model veterinary hospitals. Then also we have extension service officers, facilitators at the clusters. We believe the extension facilitators should come from the clusters so that they can relay the information clearly. And what we do clearly is working with big-time commercial companies and commercial farmers like Abyss now. We work with Abyss in the beef value chain. We have clusters that are into fattening and those that are into feedlotting and co. It's just for us to link them up with Abyss. Then we have that in dairy sector also. We have a lot of big-time players in dairy sectors, and we have those that are supplying the milk to the factories. We have in Sebore, we have in L&Z, we have in a lot of clear big-time players. What we do, we support those farmers with input support. We also support the big-time players through the DPN, so that at least they can improve their business.
What are the big-time players?
The big-time players in different sectors.
Okay.
For instance, let me talk of dairy. We have Sebore farms, they are into dairy. We have L&Z, we have IDL in Jos, and we have a lot of them. We have country yogurt in Bauchi. We work with all of them. Then if you come to the issue of beef, we have Abyss Group here, we have CDI, and we have a lot of them also that are into beef sector, that we try to create market for our farmers through this linkage by also directly supporting the farmers with input. What do they need? This is the kind of issues they need. Then the big-time players, we support them through linking them with access to finance companies that will support their business. In so doing, we are both supporting the big-time players and the livestock farmers.
We've talked a lot about the farmers, profit-making, business. What's in all of these for the ordinary Nigerian consumer? Are they guaranteed cheaper livestock? Is it better livestock, better quality? What exactly is in it?
Okay, so the project development objective of this project is to improve productivity, commercialization, and resilience of livestock value chain. So in so doing, if you are supporting the livestock farmer, if they are improving their productivity and commercialization, certainly it will trickle down to ordinary.
In what way?
In what way? In reduced cost of products, then also in economic activities across what is happening. For instance, if you are supporting an ordinary livestock farmer to support his business, certainly the economic condition of the area will improve. And in that, it will also trickle down to the ordinary Nigerians. I don't want to say ordinary Nigerians who are not into the livestock farming.
They will be eating healthy
food,
and all
also
that.
Okay.
We have a lot of questions that came in, and we're still expecting more from our viewers watching us, but we'll take a break right now. When we return, the conversation will continue. Don't go away.
Terra wishes you a Merry Christmas.
In a world hungry for goodness, with a splash of golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile, make a lunch hour a happy hour. Change no thanks into yes please. Provide care when our nearest and dearest needs it most, and resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty, nourishing family meals is all that matters. The world needs moms, because where there are moms, there is hope, happiness and love. Golden Terra Oil, pour pure love.
You have no better friend and partner than Nigeria. Let this unveiling today be a call to conscience. Let our practitioners hold the line of truth. To the media, please inform with integrity and with a deep sense of patriotism. To our public officers, communicate with transparency. To citizens, please let us speak with empathy. Let us come together to become the voice of responsibility, the voice of the world that heals division, that inspires hope and drives development.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, SEC 0209-462-1168, 0916-772-3240. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC. The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, SEC 0209-462-1168, 0916-772-3240. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
You're welcome back, and you're still watching Good Morning Nigeria. And as you're watching us, you're also sending your comments and questions for the guests here in the studio. Let me read some of them here before Victor takes his own. From Mohammed Awal Musa Afame, Kano, he said, as Minister of Livestock Development, have you thought of establishing or engaging community development workers services for facilitating livestock services, acting as a bridge between rural communities and available services, such as facilitating vaccination campaigns and access to veterinary care? That is from Mohammed Awal Musa Afamai. And another one wrote, Dara Molla said, we have a very articulate minister in the livestock ministry. He's very versatile and global in outlook. And Dr. Hudu Uswe from Kaduna wrote in, he said, good morning to the Honorable Minister and other distinguished discussants. I wish to let the Honorable Minister know that grazing reserve and cattle route are no longer fashionable due to existing Land Use Act that has placed ownership of the land in the hands of state governors as trustees. Your ministry should encourage indigenous educated youths to go into mixed crop livestock farming. Dr. Hudu Oswe from Kaduna. And Keju Olabaju said the livestock subsector has huge potential to generate resources to fund national development if well harnessed. Take a typical cow, especially in Dama breed, from the horn to the hoof, nothing is considered as waste. The sector is not for Fulani alone, as wrongly alluded. It is a rewarding pathway for good investment to any investor. And Professor Akim Oyerinde said, good morning, thanks for the discussion. I have a question to your guest. What is the role of animal scientists in this industry? That is one. Two, the L Press is focusing more on livestock health. What is the animal husbandry support? That's Professor Akim Oyerinde. Victor.
No, perhaps we take responses.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the kind words coming from there, and also the areas they want us to throw in more light. Regarding grazing reserves and cattle routes, yes, cattle routes are old-fashioned. However, legally, they are still there. In reality, many of the routes have disappeared because of urbanization. It's very, very aggressive. Infrastructure, demand for land for infrastructure. I tell people that 70 years ago, Abuja was not there. It was a game place. A lot of wild animals, wild lions, and people were grazing here freely. Today is no longer available. And it goes so with so many other cities all over the country. 70 years ago, many of the state capitals we have today were no more just mere towns. And they don't grow on air, they grow on land. Demand for infrastructure. 70 years ago, how many universities were in the country? How many universities are there today? They are not built in the air. They request, demand for infrastructure, both for agriculture, large farms, large dams, express roads, airports, so many things. Yes, the animals are still there. They still have to also be on land. So therefore, grazing routes, cattle routes probably, yes. And this is the reason why we are saying that. We want these cattle to be, animals to be sedentarized. Grazing reserves actually do not belong to the federal government, they belong to the state governments. They are gazetted at the state level. And we are working with the state government to make sure that the model we describe here today are realized. However, not all animals can be there. Those who want to go into ranching can also apply to state governments to get land. Like I did in 2004 in Kaduna State. I applied for land. Today I have 110 hectares of land on which my ranch is sitting. Very friendly, business-friendly government in Kaduna State. Right from then till now. A lot of services also from the state governments. And many state governments today are willing to also allocate large parcels of land to those who want to go into ranching, not necessarily in the grazing reserves. But we are talking about the grazing reserves because they have been so gazetted right from before the independence. And they are still there under the law, covered by law. Excuse me, and this is the reason why we are saying that we need to develop those models there. But those who want to be in ranching can actually do that. I agree, totally agree with you. Nobody said that livestock is about one tribe or the other. It's a business. Who does broadcasting in this country? It's a business. If you run your numbers, you want to go into beef production, we assist you. We talk to you, we listen to your business. We advise you. We do the handholding, we regulate. This is what is happening. If you want to go into piggery, we assist you. You want to go into ranching, we assist you. We've been working with Abyss. And we're going to also work with them in terms of backward integration. And that's why even El-Press talked about this feed lotting. The feed lotting is good. Let's take the numbers. Abyss said here that they're going to process 1,000 bulls per day. Time is 365 days. Where are you going to get those bulls? These are not bulls that you bring from the bush. We gave you the condition. In terms of breed type, it's important. In terms of health management, it's important. And these are not bulls that today we have to wait for 6-7 years before they hit 400 kg. These are bulls because of their genetics, because of the management, because of the health coverage. At 30 months, they are hitting 600 kg. These are the bulls we are looking at. At 30 months, they are hitting 600 kg. Not the ones that we have today, that at 7 years, they are still 400 kg. So this is what we are looking at. So the ministry is going to now transform the sector to make sure that our animal carcass weight, the slaughter weight, is reduced from 4 years to 30 months. And then the carcass weight is also that much that I have given you. We are also looking at dairy production from 2 to 3 liters per day per cow. We want to leapfrog the sector to 15, 20, 30, 40 liters per cow per day. That can only happen with genetics, with good animal husbandry. And that's why the animal scientists come. Your role here is to improve on the animal husbandry system today in the country, to move it from where we are to where we want to be. That's what we are looking at. We are looking at survivability of the animals. This is what we are looking at. So it's a whole gamut, it's the whole ecosystem that we are going to transform.
All right. Now, Professor Nyerude had a question for El-Press.
Yes, yes.
He also talked about animal husbandry.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. It's clear because I said earlier, animal husbandry aspects are done at the states because it's an SLA project. That means subsidiary loan agreements. State sign for subsidiary loan agreement. So most of component 2, that is livestock value chain enhancement, 100% is at the state. It's about 195 million US. So it's a huge activities. The activities, animal husbandry activities, the sedentarized, 100% is at the state. The wet markets, the extension services, the provision of water, pasture, all this is at the state level. Animal health is handled at the national because we are not just handling for 20 states. Disease has no boundary, so we handle for the 36 states and FCT. For instance, we provide vaccine support to the states. As I speak presently, yesterday we delivered Benue, Nasarawa, and we delivered Cross River this morning, and we are delivering Gombe presently.
Are all the states on board?
All the states, but these 2 states are not even in El-Press, Nasarawa and Benue, but we have to deliver vaccine end to end to them. for the vaccination. So the essence is that most of animal scientists aspect or animal husbandry aspect is at the state. So there are a lot of activities done at the state: provision of water, provision of pasture, market, abattoirs. All of these are animal production. But the animal health aspect, because it involves 36 states plus FCT, we handle it from the national, and we also collaborate with the states in the remodeling of their veterinary clinics and veterinary hospitals.
All
So
right,
that is
let's take some more messages. Now, this one is from Mohammed Isa in Kotokarfe, Kogi State. Nigeria's livestock sector in 2026 shows strong potential, driven by increased government attention, a growing population, and rising demand for animal protein. However, progress is still limited by poor infrastructure, low productivity, climate change, insecurity, and farmer-herder conflicts. Now, with improved policy implementation, he says, modern ranching, and better access to finance and veterinary services, the livestock sector could significantly contribute to food security, employment, and economic growth. I think that's basically agreeing with the Honorable Minister. And this one reads, good morning, NTA. I'm chatting from Ondo State, Ilaja local government. We have no ideas for livestock you are talking about, and we have more than enough land to be part of it. What is the starting point? He's asking. That's from Tunde Mokoya from Ondo State. This one is from Ahmed Babadikwa from Maiduguri. Livestock improvement in Nigeria holds significant potential for enhancing food security, farmer livelihoods, and economic growth. While promising initiatives in genetics, feed quality, and healthcare exist, progress is often hindered by challenges like limited access to funding, inconsistent extension services, and infrastructure gaps. A sustained integrated approach combining modern technology with robust support systems is crucial for unlocking this critical sector's full potential. And this one reads, good morning, panel members, especially the Honorable Minister. I'm Abbas Abubakar Saad from Jalingo in Taraba State. The creation of the Ministry of Livestock Development is one of the good initiatives of this administration, and I'm very happy with the leadership of the ministry because the Honorable Minister is performing extremely well. However, my question is, why are some states taking so long to create this ministry to complement the efforts of the federal government? Okay. This one, every state has a designated grazing reserve. The Honorable Minister should please shed light on why herders abandon all year-round green grazing reserves in Northwest and Northeast to invade farms in North Central. And how is his ministry working on curtailing such incidents when the farming season commences this year? That's from Oche Garba. I have two more to go. Good morning, Nigerians. Livestock Minister has been trying, but I think he still needs to do more. My question is, what is he doing to collaborate with the state government to ensure efficiency in livestock, especially in the area of abattoir? Because in some areas, if you visit their abattoirs, you will see that they are in sorry state. Okay, this is from Mohammed from Okene in Kogi State. And what are you doing to revive livestock farming in areas worst hit by banditry like Zamfara and its neighboring states? And finally, from Habiba in Abuja, I heard you say a private company is opening an abattoir in Abuja where they will slaughter 1,000 cows in one day. Where will he get his supply? Can Nigerian farmers sustain this demand? So, a lot of questions.
A lot of questions. Very, very interesting. And that really shows that people are following, and not just this program, but of course the activities of this government and the Europe agenda, particularly with livestock. And generally, I think, let's not miss the point. Livestock is a private business. Let me repeat. Livestock is a private business. The government has no intention itself to get directly involved. We are here to create the necessary, the enabling environment for people like ABIS, like CDI, like IDL, like ALA, like Sare Kosam in Yola, like Zaidi Farms in Kaduna. I mean, to play around to get the niche, to create a niche for themselves. We are 235 million Nigerians and still counting. We need milk. We need fresh milk. We need good quality beef cuts. We need good eggs. We need leather works. We need employment. Let me repeat this. Livestock is the only sector that you harvest every day. If you plant crops, you have to wait for minimum 50, 60 days, 6 months down the line. It's only livestock today you can get an egg every day. Every day you can milk a cow, you can milk a goat, you can milk a camel. Every day you have leather works, hide and skin. You can harvest your pasture, you can pelletize, you can do all these things. We have the internal market, the largest market in Africa, the 5th largest livestock population in Africa. So the mix cannot be better. And the whole idea today is not that government will do this, government will do that. No, we are here to work with the private sector. The private sector doesn't mean you have to have an abattoir like Abyss 1,000 animals per day. Come, start, get a couple of goats, get a cockerel and 5 hens, get 1 goat, 1 buck and 45 does. Get a good number of heifers and do artificial insemination. You are on the way. We will work with you. We will assist you. We will guide you. We will link you up with the market. This is what the ministry is about today. But we want Nigerians to wake up to this reality, that today we have this mouth to feed, and we cannot wait for this thing to come from outside this country. There is no security of supply. We are exporting our jobs. We are spending $1.5 billion to buy dairy and dairy products into this country. This has to stop on a gradual basis. This is what the ministry is talking about. We want to work with people to get into dairy. We want to work with people to get into animal production. I just made an illustration that today with all what we are doing in the ministry, including our parastatals, NVRI, NAPRI, LPRES, and the private sector, we want to double the size of the Nigerian herd in terms of number, also in terms of quality. That's what we're talking about. By the time Abyss is slaughtering 1,000 bulls per day, we need to have hundreds of thousands, at least millions, hundreds of youths, men and women, to get into feedlotting. Look for these young heifers, young bull calves, bring them into the fattening area, fatten them. You need somebody to produce the pasture, you need somebody to do the health services, you need somebody to do the movement of these animals. If they are coming from Maiduguri, if they are coming from Sokoto, once they come here, they have to be on the lineage to stabilize them. You show them, you play music. They get settled because it's a continuous movement. Abyss is producing, the abattoirs are producing, you are packaging the meat under cold chain, and you are transporting it out of this country or into the market areas. The abattoirs, the supermarkets, the groceries, all over. Very soon, with Abyss and all these pictures he has described, in the not too distant future, the ministry will work with state governments and other players, stakeholders, to stop trade in live animals. They come under unhygienic conditions. You are transporting animal from Baga to Lagos to slaughter it. When it gets to Lagos, nobody swallows an animal. You still have to butcher it. So why don't we do the butchering at that point of fattening and then transport the meat? This is what happens all over the country, all over the world.
Yes.
So the way we are going to create jobs. And let me say this one point. Why is today 1 kilogram of meat expensive? It's simply because we only get value from the red meat. The others that Abyss described, we call it as waste. There is no waste in the animal kingdom.
Okay.
If you get money from blood, from hoofs, from the horns, from the marrow, from the bones, from the hide, and from the feces, the solid waste. So you are getting value from all this. But as of today, we only get value from the red meat. These others, nobody bothers about them. By the time we start to realize value, drive value from these other byproducts that I've mentioned, should drive down the cost of red meat. Yes. This is what the minister is talking about. This is what this president is preaching today.
Yes, and as your ministry contributes, to the economy of this country, our target is the international market. You talked about, you know, all that. So about byproducts that we need to make money from. But is the quality of our meat or byproducts on global standards at par with other countries?
Yeah, thank you. This is the reason why we are driving this reorganization and certification, as Mr. Gashimbaki said. You cannot, even in this country today, every abattoir needs to be certified, whether for local consumption or for export. We need to assure ourselves that, look, the meat we are giving, we are selling, the cows that we are processing are of international standard. We first have to aim to satisfy our own public health requirements and standards. And that should be at par with the national standard. This is what we deserve, no less. We deserve no less. Once we achieve that, of course, export is a question of moving it across the border. It can go to Niger, it can go to Benin Republic, it can go to Cameroon, it can go to, Middle East, it can go to anywhere. But first and foremost, the condition of the slaughterhouses in this country are unacceptable. And we are working with the state government, we are working with the private sector to make sure that these abattoirs are built to international standard. We certify them. If only when you want to go outside, then you get people outside to come and certify. So yes, the Nigerian premium cuts are as good as any other international market. Then we can assess that market. But that is our ultimate aim.
All right. Now, some of the questions were also directed at the private sector. Perhaps you could take a minute to respond.
Okay. Well, I think the private sector, we are ready, and we'll continue to focus on scaling up the investment that we have already made.
And you can sustain getting 1,000 cows a day.
Yes. So let me highlight 3 key areas. Number one area, because our business model is contingent on having reliable feedstock. And if you have been listening to what the minister has been saying and what El-Press is doing real on ground, they are trying to take that burden off us. Because imagine after this huge investment, we are now also worried with investing at that level. So we'll do backward integration to ensure that what they are doing at subnationals feeds into the factory. That's one. The second aspect that I want to also highlight quickly is that if you have also been listening to all the opportunities that have been explained here, you realize that there is one major area that is outside the scope of the Ministry of Livestock Development, which is catalyzing funding. Yes, they can facilitate it, but we think it is important that the Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank come to the rescue of the Ministry of Livestock Development at this stage, because we would want to see to mobilize domestic funding to catalyze our investment further. And the current interest rate is not that favorable.
All right, Dr. Sanusi.
Yeah.
Let's project to the end, to the end of 2026. Where do you see the livestock sector?
Thank you very much.
In 30 seconds.
We want to see the livestock sector commercialized, fully commercialized, as the Honorable Minister rightly said. It's a private sector initiative, and also we want to see a lot of investment in the infrastructure. We are doing the infrastructure now, but we want to operationalize it so for the benefit of the livestock.
Honorable Minister, your last word. What must go right or what must not go wrong for the livestock sector to succeed?
In 30 seconds.
In 10 seconds, fellow Nigerians, wake up, wise up, and move up to the livestock sector. It is coming with multidimensional prosperity for everybody in this country. We are here, we mean business, we'll work with you to transform this sector. Nigeria is going to offer solutions. Nigerians will work out the solutions for Nigerians' prosperity.
Okay. Idi Mukhtar Meha, Honorable Minister of Livestock Development, thank you so much as usual for coming to enlighten us on what's happening in the livestock sector. We appreciate you as always. Dr. Sanusi Abubakar, National Coordinator, Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, El-Press. We appreciate you coming and giving us your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Ilyasu Gashimbaki, co-founder, Abyss Group, Abuja studio. We thank you so much for coming. And we'd like to know where the abattoir will be situated.
Idu.
Idu. Okay,
Yes.
that's
Not will be. It's situated.
It's situated there. Okay, thank you so much.
I'd like to see what you do there. Really.
Yes, thank you so much.
We
appreciate your time, and we hope to see you soon so that we can talk about this more again. Thank you so much. And that's Good Morning Nigeria for today. We hope you've been, informed and educated on how the livestock sector is rolling out initiatives and making sure that Nigerians key into that sector. I am Jumma Yusuf. Thanks for watching.
And I'm Victor Azu. Enjoy your day.